Welcome to North Abuse No More, where we're here to help educate you about narcissistic abuse because your feelings do matter. Hi, and welcome to another podcast of North Abuse No More with your host, Dr. and Evangelist K.O. Rich. Thanks for tuning in today. Today is Monday. Yes, it is Monday, Labor Day. November the 4th of 2023. I pray that you have had a blessed, stress-free, narcissistic-free, abuse-free week so far, and that the remainder of this week will continue to be so as well. But if not, we're going to be talking about a few things today. Again, my name is Dr. K.O. Richard, North Abuse No More, where we're here to help you admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse, because your feelings do matter. Yes, they do. But before we go on with today's podcast, I'd like to invite you to visit us on our website at www.narcabusenomore.org. Again, that website address is www.narcabusenomore.org, and on our website you'll find valuable information regarding narcissism, relationships, and if you have missed any of these podcasts, all you have to do is go directly to our website and listen to us from there. Now, just to let you know, we are on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central, and that is on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Play, iTunes, Castbox, and Deezer. We're also on Amazon Audible, Rumble, Brighteon, and the Tube. That's why we're on YouTube. So you have a variety of different platforms that you can listen to us from. But if all else fails, all you have to do is go directly to our website at www.narcabusenomore.org. All right. What are we talking about today? Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I want to just let you all know that in January 2024, Lord willing, we're going to be bringing an additional podcast, and that podcast is for veterans. It's going to be called Veterans in Christ, and that podcast is going to be dealing with a lot of different issues, such as we're going to be talking about the spiritual aspect for us helping veterans spiritually. Also, PTSD. We're going to be talking about suicide prevention. We're going to be talking about your disability claims for those who may get benefits, and you might want to increase those benefits or get started with those benefits. We're going to be talking about CMP exams. We're going to be dealing with supplementary claims. What benefits do you get for taxes, health benefits, dental benefits? What is it that you may be entitled to as a veteran? And also, we're going to be dealing with things that are for active duty personnel as well, because you may be transitioning out or getting ready to retire. And what do you need to know for transitioning back into the civilian world? And if you're on active duty, we're going to be talking about active duty things as well. But it's going to be called Veterans in Christ. And so I will keep you updated. Actually, it's going to be every Tuesday and every Thursday. And I believe the time will be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central. However, just as you do with this podcast, you will be able to go and listen at the time of your choice. And I also plan on having a website just for that particular podcast and the information that will be presented on that podcast. Before we go on, I just want to give you a little taste of what you're going to be hearing for that podcast.
Your daddy was home when you left.
You're right.
Your mama was home when you left.
You're right.
Your sister was home when you left.
You're right.
Your brother was home when you left.
You're right.
The dog was home when you left.
You're right.
The cat was home when you left.
You're right.
The fish was home when you left.
You're right.
Your daddy, your mama, your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the fish was home when you left.
You're right.
And that's the reason you left.
You're right.
I left my home. I left my home to join the army. Join the army. I left my home. I left my home to join the army. Join the army. The day I left. The day I left. My mama cried. My mama cried. She thought that I would surely die. Would surely die. I left my wife. I left my wife standing at the door. Standing at the door. She knew that I would die at war. Would die at war. I left my son. I left my son playing in the yard. Playing in the yard. Seeing Daddy leave. Seeing Daddy leave. Made him cry so hard. Made him cry so hard. The day I left. The day I left. My daddy's hand. I shook my daddy's hand. He said that I had become a man. Had become a man. Ooh wee, 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 ooh wee. Join the army. To join the army.
I love that. I gotta find the name of this guy. He's on YouTube. The name of the cadence is "I Left My Home," it's called "I Left My Home," and it's military cadence. And this guy, the next time I come, I will make sure to have his name because he makes all these different cadences for the military online. And so anyway, I'm going to be playing some of his things on on the podcast. However, this is going to be for all branches. I was in the Navy. So whether you're Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, whatever, reserves, active duty, veteran, or whatever the case may be, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of different issues that pertains to military life. If you have children that are going to be joining up, if there was a draft, what to expect, or whatever the case may be. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different issues, and I'm excited to have that started. If you know someone who's in the military, or you a veteran, or you know some veterans, let them know that we're going to be doing a podcast that's going to be geared toward military life, okay? And it's going to be called Veterans in Christ, and we're going to be dealing with all kinds of different issues, from the spiritual aspect to benefits and all that. So I'm excited about that. All right, what are we talking about today? We're talking about understanding and dealing with a narcissist, and basically a beginner's guide to understanding and dealing with a narcissist. I want to recommend a book that if you are new to dealing with narcissists, or you may have been dealing with them, but you did not know that you were dealing with them, then guess what? I'm going to recommend this book. And I like this book because it's very, very simple and it's easy for you to navigate through. The author's name is Naomi. Is in her first initial, and then is Naomi, Niami. The book is called Narcissist 101, Beginner's Guide to Understanding and Dealing with a Narcissist. Okay, the author's name again is her first initial N, and her last name is Naomi, is Niami. And the book is titled Narcissist 101, Beginner's Guide to Understanding and Dealing with a Narcissist. And I highly recommend this book because it's easy to navigate. And just to give you a little bit about the author, because she's on the back of the book, and she's an author, a spiritual mentor, and an inspirational speaker. But above all, she is a woman of God and a believer. Her passion to help others has become her purpose in life, and she is determined to empower those who have been hurt and heal and heal the broken heart by sharing her personal journey and experiences. And so I love this book and how easy it is. And we're going to go through some of this book, and she tells basically, and in the front it has a table of contents, but it's 101 different things about narcissists. So I'm gonna go through some of this today, and I would suggest highly recommend that you buy this book, and it's available on Amazon. I'm not sure what other platforms that is on, if it's on Barnes and Noble, but I do know that it is on Amazon. Okay, so the first one is narcissists hide their identity. Narcissists hide their true identity. And she says here that narcissists hide their true identity by putting on a false self, pretending to be someone they're not. They don't want to face the truth of who they are or their feelings of unworthiness and emptiness, so they choose to be a fictitious character instead. But sooner or later, this false self can't stand the test of time, and the cracks will start to appear, and you will start to see them for who they really are. You will start to discover they are not the people you thought they were, and this is when you have to bring yourself to the stage of acceptance, accepting this one powerful truth: who you thought this person is or who you wanted them to be doesn't exist. And once you know the truth will set you free. And we often talk about on this podcast how narcissists wear facades. They wear masks. If you've ever seen or have even attended a masquerade ball, and you never see the person's true identity until they remove the mask. So narcissists are basically broken individuals, empty souls pretty much, that may have been hurt in their past by someone who was a narcissist in their life, but instead of getting the help that they need, what they did was they continued down the path of abuse. And therefore, when you are wanting this person to be a certain way, they're not. When you're thinking that this person was a certain way, they weren't. So you have to accept, in order to be able to heal and move forward, you have to accept that this person was never the person you wanted them to be. We often live in a dream world where we want to make everything a fairy tale, but wake up, smell the coffee. This is real life. We can't change anyone. We can't make them be something that they're not. You either have to accept them for who they are, or just know that I'm going to be in this relationship knowing that they're not going to change, or decide, you know what, I can't deal with this any longer. So therefore, I have to be the product of change. The only person that you can change is yourself. The only person that you have control over, unless you're trying to be like the narcissist, is yourself. No matter how much you love a person, no matter how much you want them to change, no matter how much you wish that they were something, they're not. So you have to accept them for who they are and decide within yourself, is this something that I wish to continue or want in my life? Or is it the time to say, you know what, I got to close the door to this particular person, or change the page, change the chapter, but this will not be my story. Another thing she wrote in here, which is, it says, narcissists love being the victim. Narcissists love playing the victim. They hurt you more times than you can remember, but every time they pretend to be the ones hurt. They act as though you have hurt them and will make you feel guilty for something they did. They make you feel sorry for them to avoid responsibility, so you now have to work hard to please them instead. They distort the truth and tell a different version of the story, a version where they play the victim. They do this for many reasons, including not having to face the consequences of the things they did to you, and also maintain a certain image to the public by showcasing that you're the one with the problem and you're the bad guy in all of this. Another reason why they love playing the victim is to gain all the sympathy and attention they can get from those around them, and playing the victim will grant them just what they need. They always blame someone else for their own mistakes and never take accountability for their own actions, because it's easier for them to believe there is something wrong with you than them. Come on now. And this is exactly what the narcissists do. They flip the script. They will project their bad behavior onto you. We often talk about how narcissists never want to admit what they've done. They never take accountability for their own actions. They would rather put you through a microscope, put you on the belt, in the sense of going down the belt where they can pick and cut you and slice you and dice you for every little thing they find as a flaw within you. But again, they never hold themselves to those same standards. Therefore, they are wanting to get that supply of being the victim where you did. And let me just say this real quick while I'm thinking about it, is that when a narcissist do something to you and then you finally explode, they will pretend to be the victim, and others will fail to see that all the abuse that they have been doing to you the whole time, but for some reason, they're able to make themselves seem as if they're the victim by the time you finally explode. And this is why you definitely have to release that pressure cooker before it actually pops. This means that the narcissist is going to do what they can to get all the attention that they can. So when you finally have had enough and you may go off, then they will say, see, this is what I'm talking about. And they will make themselves, appear to be the victim when they're the one that's victimizing you. Let's go on here. The narcissist can't love you. It wasn't love that hurt you. It was loving the wrong person that hurt you. True love doesn't hurt. It heals. True love does not make you bitter. It makes you better. It didn't do any of these things to you when it wasn't true love. You can't find true love with someone who is fake. It is impossible, because to feel and experience true love, you need to be your true, authentic self, not someone fake trying to be real. You can't have something real with someone fake. A narcissist is a false self, an entity that does not exist. Their character is all made up in their mind, but the truth of who they are is completely different. They didn't know what love is. They've never been exposed to true love or have the ability to generate that love from within. So they can't give you something they don't have. They don't have, because to give love, you need to have love to give. They didn't love you just as you love them. And that's what hurt. Loving someone who didn't love you. That's powerful. Because you often get in a relationship thinking that this person is going to love you, but if the person don't even know what love is, if they don't know how to love, then they can't give something that they don't have. It's like trying to get water out of a dry sponge. It won't happen. You have to love yourself. And this is not in a selfish way. You have the negative narcissism and the good narcissism. This type of good narcissism that I'm talking about is not the kind that hurt other people. It's having a love for yourself, because when you love yourself, then you will not allow anyone to devalue you. You have to know your worth. You have to love yourself and say that I am fearfully and I am wonderfully made, and I know that full well. Therefore, Therefore, loving yourself allows you to know what love is. And true love comes from God. And if that person is not treating you as God would treat you, then guess what? They don't love you. And when they don't know how to love you, then you cannot expect them to have spontaneous combustion where they will automatically know what it is. We oftentimes expect something out of a person that they can't give. And narcissists, their type of love is twisted. Their type of love is it changes with the as the seasons change, should I say. So therefore it's not love at all. Love does not hurt. Love heals. Love restores. Love does not change. Love you when you love someone, you're not on Monday, off on Tuesday, again on Wednesday, and then off on Thursday, treating a person like crap on Friday and then celebrating them on Saturday. It doesn't work like that. But in order to know what love is, you have to learn to love yourself first. Because when you love yourself in a healthy sense, then you will know when you're not receiving the love that you deserve. And I often tell people to go to 1 Corinthians 13. You want to know what love is, it breaks it down. And if you're not getting that type of love, then you're not getting love at all. All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in just a moment.
When the best of me is barely breathing, when I'm not somebody I believe in, hold on to me. When I miss the light, the night is stolen. When I'm slamming all the doors you've opened, hold on to me. Hold on to me. Hold on to me when it's too dark to see you. When I am sure I have reached the end. Hold on to me when I forget I need you. When I let go, hold me again. When I don't feel like I'm worth defending. When I'm tired of my pretending, hold on to me. When I start to break in desperation, underneath the weight of expectation, hold on to me. Hold on to me. Hold on to me when it's too dark to see you. When I am sure I've reached the end. Hold on to me when I forget I need you. When I let go, hold me again. I could rest here in your arms forever, 'cause I know nobody loves me better. Hold on to me. Hold on to me.
That's Hold On to Me by Lauren Daigle. Narcissists. You can't find the truth in them. There is no truth to be found in a narcissist because everything about them is a lie. They lie effortlessly with no remorse because their whole life is based on one big lie. They are not real, they are false, and everything about them is false. So don't expect anything real to come from them. No truth can be found in a person whose whole character, persona, and life are false. A fantasy that does not exist. A story based on a lie. They live in a fantasy they have created in their own mind to stop trying to find truth where it cannot be found. So stop trying to find truth where it cannot be found. They have abandoned their true self, and a false self cannot give you what only a true self can. Nothing can be real with someone who is false. Always remember that when you're dealing with a narcissist. They come to destroy your life with lies because theirs can be destroyed with the truth. You and them are two opposing forces, hence why the two of you could never have worked out. Narcissists lie to themselves in an attempt to run away from their truth. And if they lie to themselves, then rest assured they'll lie to everyone else because it's easier for them to live a lie than face the truth. And you all may recall me saying, mentioning the movie, that movie that was with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise, and I can't think of the name of it, but Jack Nicholson was on the witness stand, and Tom Cruise was an attorney, and he asked him a question, and he said, "You can't handle the truth." And that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a narcissist. They cannot handle the truth. Not about themselves. Now they want to dissect everyone else, but they can't handle the truth about themselves. And when you attempt to tell them the truth about themselves, then you will often see them go into what we call a narcissistic rage. It's like the Incredible Hulk. If he got injured or whatever the case may be, he would say on the show that you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. So you have this narcissist that when they're faced with the truth of who they really are, they turn into this Incredible Hulk. They have this narcissistic rage. Therefore, you have to know what you're dealing with. And when you know what you're dealing with, then you know how not to deal with the narcissist, how not to play their game. It is so important to have true, authentic people in your life. Those that you can be honest with. Those that are looking out for your best interest. Those that are not about themselves. Those that don't need a sense of narcissistic supply at the expense of someone else's hurt. They must put others down. They must put others down to get a sense of superiority and greatness. They use their words to tear you down, criticize you, and belittle you. That's the only way they can feel better about themselves, by tearing others down. They are jealous creatures, envious of anyone that could be better than them or have something they can't have. They start to diminish you by feeding your mind with lies that make you question your self-worth and value. They poison your soul with doubt and make you question your entire identity. They ensure that you don't see yourself for who you truly are, so they put you down, making you believe there is something wrong with you or you're not good enough. They are critical and judgmental, and the only way they can rise and have a sense of superiority and esteem is by putting others down. And this is this is a trait that narcissists, in order to feel better about themselves, is at the expense of someone else. They feel like the more I put others down, the better they feel about themselves. And when you are of that mindset that you can only feel good about yourself by putting someone else down, then guess what? You need to go look at yourself in the mirror, because something is obviously wrong with you. No one should have to feel devalued by a narcissist or anyone else. And let me just say this: be careful even when they validate you. And what am I saying here? A narcissist, the Bible talks about a double-minded man is unstable in all their ways. What a narcissist lift up, a narcissist will also put down. The laws of nature. What goes up must come down. Now, the thing is that even when a narcissist is so-called having a good day and they're singing your praises and they're saying, oh, you're this, you're that, and let me just say this, don't get sucked in, because the very next time you speak to them, they may tell you anything that you're not 6 ways to Sunday. Do not get sucked in by the narcissist compliments, by the narcissist acts of kindness, when there is an act of kindness, talking about love bombing, because a narcissist love to do that. They will set you up for the ultimate fall. What am I saying? They will say, oh, you're lovely, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, and the next time that they feel that you have crossed their path in the wrong direction, then they will wipe it, they will pull the rug right from up under you, and you are everything but a child of Sunday, a child of God, 6 ways from Sunday. Be careful. Do not allow your self-esteem to be tied up in the opinion of a narcissist. You will never be good enough for them. You will never be good enough for a narcissist, because they believe they are God's gifts here on earth. They do no wrong and say no wrong. They are as perfect as it gets. They believe they are gods here on earth and as close to perfect as anyone could get. So nothing you'll ever say or do will ever be good enough for them. This reminds me, let me just stop for a minute. This reminds me of when Donald Trump says that was a perfect call. It was a perfect call. Now, I'm not saying he did anything wrong. But it reminded me of that when he said this is a perfect call. They found something wrong in a perfect call. And again, I'm not saying anything was wrong with his calls, but it reminds me of that. After all, you can't be as perfect as them. Can you see the delusion they live in? This is why you can turn yourself inside out and upside down, and it still won't be enough. Nothing will ever be enough. They'll constantly be needing more. And it is impossible for a human being to satisfy a narcissist. They'll always be asking for more, wanting more, because they have an ego that will never be content or satisfied. The more you give, the more you'll lose, and you'll continue to take because they'll continue to take because that's the only way their false, distorted self can survive. No doubt it takes, so don't take it personal. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. No one and nothing will ever be good enough for them, because this is the unrealistic fantasy they live in. And let me re-emphasize that. Nothing you ever do will be good enough for a narcissist. You can give them $2.5 million and they will say the next day, you don't do nothing for me. This is wrong. That's wrong. Everything is always wrong with you. You will never be good enough when it comes to the narcissist. You will always try to please and appease them to your demise. Let me just say this. When you're dealing with a narcissist, it's like putting money in the bank, but you got NSF funds. Okay. So you might be overdrawn $100. You put $20 in. It might chip away at it, but it's still not going to be enough. When you're dealing with a narcissist, think of the narcissist as a bank. The bank, you're in NSF when you're dealing with that bank. Okay, so you may deposit $20. You still haven't gotten the debt paid off. You put another $20 in. You still haven't gotten the debt paid off. Okay, you may have paid off the $100, but then the narcissist is going to come back and recalculate and say, no, you owe me an additional $20. You would never be able to do enough for a narcissist. They will always find you at a deficit, and then you often will look at yourself, well, why can't I please them? And why isn't this good enough? And you do this and you do that, and you try to make them happy, and you do all these different things, and it will not matter. It's like putting coins in a pocket that has holes in it. It will not stick. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. Yeah. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. Yolanda, won't you sing the song?
See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Sometimes the silence can seem so loud. There are miracles in life I must achieve, yeah. But first it's got to start inside of me. Oh, if I
Said I'm running, said I'm flying.
I Believe I Can Fly, and that is by the late Gerald Levert and Yolanda Adams. All right, one more. And again, this book is called Narcissist 101, Beginner's Guide to Understanding and Dealing with a Narcissist. And the author's name is in her first initial and Naomi. That is Niami, Naomi. And I love this book, and I recommend it for anyone who is new to the world of narcissists, or if you are pro at it. If you are a veteran of narcissists, this book will help to keep you on track to let you know it is not you, it's the narcissist. Okay, so the last one we're going to do today is a child in an adult body. When you're dealing with a narcissist, always remember that you're not dealing with a fully grown adult. Remember, you're dealing with an underdeveloped 5-year-old in an adult body. This is why you'll never get them to see sense, because a 5-year-old has no sense of understanding or logic. So don't expect a kid to act like an adult, because that's just not going to happen. Narcissists haven't developed or matured like the rest of us due to childhood conditioning, and they remain this way because they have no desire to grow or evolve. So when you're dealing with a narcissist, remember that you are dealing with the underdeveloped, immature kid and trying to get this kid to act like an adult is a mission impossible. And unlike the movie or the sequels of movie sequels of Mission Impossible, where the mission was finally done, when you're dealing with a narcissist, do not expect that to be the outcome. I always make the disclaimer that with God, anything is possible. But see, the thing is that when a person wants to change, they first have to acknowledge that there is a need for change. And when you're dealing with an immature individual, because basically narcissists, as she just mentioned in the book, is that narcissists are children in adults' body. They are not emotionally mature. So you might have whiplash to say, when you're dealing with whiplash, you are basically, I like to use the word cognitive dissonance. So you're talking about a person that is of two opinions, where you know that this person is an adult, but then they're acting like a child, and so it kind of confuses you and gives you whiplash. So you have two opinions. Well, I know I'm dealing with an adult, but this person is acting anything but. But remember that what you're seeing is not the real them. And this is even when you're dealing with a narcissist that has the maturity of a child. They are very emotionally immature. Something more than likely in their childhood damaged them. Therefore, they do not reason well. There's no logic with anything with them. You can show them that the sky is blue, but in their minds, they're seeing purple and black clouds. All right. So you're not dealing with someone that's rational. You cannot reason with most 5-year-olds. So let me just say this. Let me just take that back, because I've worked in daycare, and children do have sense. Okay, they do. You can talk to them and say, well, okay, Johnny, was that nice hitting Sue? No, but I wanted her candy. But would you want someone to do that to you? No. Okay, give back the candy. Okay, or whatever. So I mean, so kids, they can. You have to teach them what's right and wrong. But when you're dealing with an adult, come on now, that should know right and wrong, then it's more difficult, because that person is set in their ways. Whereas a child will learn, and a child will, you have time to teach that child, and that child will move from that narcissistic type of behavior to having compassion and empathy for others. The narcissist stays at that level. Therefore, do not think that you're going to be the one to change them. In order for someone to change, they have to recognize that they need a change. And most narcissists do not see the need for themselves to change anything. They see where they need to change you, but they don't see that they need to be the change. So therefore, when you're dealing with these type of individuals, whether it's your spouse, whether it's family members, whether it's church members, come on now, whether it's on the job, wherever you're dealing with these type of individuals, know that you have to be the one to be the source of change. That means that you have to create boundaries. You have to determine what's best for you, because they're not thinking about you. So guess what? You have to think about you. All right, we are up out of here. I pray that you all have a nice, lovely Labor Day weekend, and hopefully you're not having to labor so hard on this particular day. And instead of going out with our normal podcast, I want to, our exiting music that we normally exit on. I want to play this cadence again. Again, remember and tell everyone that we have a new podcast that's going to be coming up in January, first week of January. And it's going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be 9 a.m. Central. And the thing is that if you're unable to listen at the time that we air, guess what? You're going to be able to listen at the time of your choice. This is for veterans. This is for active duty. This is for reserve, but it's going to be called Veterans in Christ. And again, I'm going to be dealing with all kinds of issues, whether it's the spiritual aspects, CNP exams, disability benefits, your taxes. What benefits do you get if you're a veteran? Things that's dealing with you in the military, PTSD, suicide. We're going to be dealing with all kinds of issues. If there's ever a draft, what to expect during wartime. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. So again, this is Dr. K.O. Rich with Narc Abuse No More, helping you to admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse, because your feelings do matter.
Your daddy was home when you left. You're right. Your mama was home when you left. You're right. Your sister was home when you left. You're right. Your brother was home when you left. You're right. The dog was home when you left. You're right. The cat was home when you left. You're right. The fish was home when you left. You're right. Your daddy, your mama, your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the fish was home when you left. You're right. And that's the reason you left. You're right. I left my home. I left my home to join the army. Join the army. I left my home. I left my home to join the army. To join the army. The day I left. The day I left. My mama cried. My mama cried. She thought that I would surely die. Would surely die.